Fight fans, welcome back to Carl Peruzza MMA. Today we got a returning guest to the show. This time he's back in action, gloves on. One of the biggest cards of the year, kicking off that MVP card, taking on Chris Avila. He is Mr. Brandon Jenkins. Brandon, what's up, my friend? How are you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Absolutely, man. You know, where were you at when you got the phone call presenting this opportunity to get on this big MVP card?
um, it was weird. I was like driving to get my haircut, and I was kind of in the middle of this. I was supposed to go fight in the Middle East in Qatar, and then the one of the matchmakers for Netflix reached out. He's like, "Are you?" He goes, "I just got to know if you're on your contract or not, because you're not gonna turn this down." I was like, "Okay, well, hit my manager up." And I was like, "He just tell me what it is," and he's like, "No, I can't let it get out at all. Like it's that big." I was like, "I don't know what it could be then." And then, yeah, I was like later that night. They're like, "Yeah, it's the Netflix card." I was like, "Okay, did you say yes?" I was like, and then my manager's like, "Yeah. I put your name in. Everything's good to go." And I think for like a week, nothing came of it. And I was like, "It's probably not going to happen, right?" He goes, "Yeah, probably not." And then it was like at midnight, he called me. He's like, "Check your email, sign the papers." Or I was like, "Okay." And then I just went in my email and it was done. It was just weird because it was like super late at night, but yeah, it was just it all kind of happened kind of fast.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's such an amazing stack card. Main event, obviously, Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey. You have Perry and Diaz on there. Junior Dos Santos is on there against Rebellis de Spain. There's so many great athletes on this card. For you, obviously, you're competing at it, but do you have to take a step back and just be like, whoa, this thing is loaded?
Yeah, I haven't really kicked off like a big card in a while. Usually I'm towards the end, but I don't remember if you were talking to me when I kicked off the PFL card in 2021, and that was like a playoff card with like Brendan Loughnane on it and a couple other UFC vets. But I kicked that card off, and it was nice because I was done, and I got to drink beer all night and have fun. And but yeah, it's cool. I get to get it out of the way, right? Rip the Band-Aid off.
Absolutely. You know, interesting, man. You've been going kind of back and forth between different promotions, glove stuff, bare knuckle stuff, karate stuff. Going back with the glove MMA now. Do you feel that this is the right move? Is it just something that just came about and you had to take it?
Yeah. Honestly, like I kind of stepped into a coaching role after my last fight. I just it was weird. I was kind of feeling a little bummed out being with Karate Combat, and I feel like it just the relationship wasn't as cool as it used to be, and just the direction they were going. And it was the last fight on my contract, and he's like, you know what? That kind of like put a sour taste in my mouth. I ended up fighting at like 2 a.m. It was crazy. They just pushed the event back because of a bunch of stuff that happened behind the scenes, and I had never fought at 2 a.m. in the morning. It was crazy, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. And I was just in a real dark place, and I told my manager, I was like, I'm not gonna like fight again unless it's something really cool, like unless something really awesome comes across my desk. Like I'm just gonna like, eh. And literally when I said that, he's like, I put your name in for a big fight. You have like a 10% chance of getting it. And I was like, okay. And then like a couple days later, he's like, you want to do this? I was like, yeah. And then I literally started just training to fight a jiu-jitsu guy, and then I got in pretty good shape. And then that didn't happen, and then now I'm fighting a boxer. It's been a kind of a whirlwind. It's weird, man. Like I said, I'm not chasing anything anymore. Now it's just kind of like for fun, you know.
Absolutely. You know, the life of being a professional fighter, it's like a roller coaster. There's so many highs, there's so many lows. Do you feel that fighting is more mental than it is physical?
100%. I mean, even when I got out of the PFL and UFC, and like I was still making good money. I I didn't really return to the regional scene or anything like that. I was still fighting like PFL vets and Bellator vets, UFC vets, ONE FC vets, like, and Karate Combat paid pretty good, and Game Bread took care of you, paid you good, paid you bonuses. Um, so wherever I went, I was still fighting like world class opposition, and it was cool. But yeah, like the casual fans don't care about that. They're just like, oh, if you're not in the top league, you're nothing, whatever. But I did get like a lot of support from like the hardcore fans or people within the industry. Um, but yeah, like I still got to kind of like live the life and just fight, and that's like my only job. I have like a part-time job where I got to work like 1 or 2 days a week, but um, yeah, it's when it got to what I dealt with was Karate Combat, like the last show, and I fought a regional show too, but I fought like an undefeated phenom, and I was like, is this really where I'm at now? Am I like regional? Am I letting Karate Combat take advantage of me? Like, is this the end? And then uh yeah, so I was just kind of like ready to kind of hang them up, um just because like me, I'm a blood and guts guy. Like I show up every fight and I'm like, whatever happens, like you're gonna get your money's worth, that's for sure. And it doesn't matter like who you fight for. Like I feel that like they don't respect like the company itself never really like they still try to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. I just always show up and I put my heart on the line, and I wasn't really feeling the love as of late, and um yeah, this was really cool that I got this opportunity because I was like, the fire was back. I was like, oh, sick. I'm getting paid a bunch of money and I get to fight on a big show. And I was like, oh, I've been so excited for this one for like the last 2 months, and like I'm in really good shape and I'm more motivated than ever.
Absolutely. When you look at your career, man, I mean, it's really amazing. You have done what probably 90% of guys who try to do the sport can't do. You've been in the UFC, you've been in the PFL, you've done Gay Bread, you've done Karate Combat. Now you can be on one of these big shows. You have highlight reel knockouts. Do you ever catch yourself reflecting back on the journey?
Uh, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to think about. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to like help other people at my gym kind of do the same thing, but just do it better. Um, I try not to get too like sucked into storylines anymore, just because like wherever I go, I always try to like go up the rankings the right way and just try to like fight my way to the top. And doing the sport long enough, just as well as I do that it's like if they want to put someone in front of you for no reason, they're gonna do that and give other opportunities away because of whatever reasons they want. It'll happen, and just politics and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I have done a lot of cool things with this sport in the last like 16 years. So it's cool, and I'm still doing things that are cool. So I'm happy people still want to watch me fight, and people care that much.
It's kind of crazy to see where the sport has come, let alone 15 years, 20 years ago. Some people were calling this human cockfighting. It wasn't legal at every single state. When you first started getting into it, do you remember maybe fighting regionally, maybe amateur, low professional shows, or maybe you're fighting outside, bars, barns? Do you have any crazy stories like that?
I fought for island fights back in the day for Dean Tool. I fought on a parking garage rooftop outside. That was pretty cool. It was weird. It was a weird night. Like I remember it was kind of like in May or something like that. It was still kind of chilly outside, and I felt after I had my fight, it was really cool. I have pictures too. There's a huge Ferris wheel in the background, so you're like fighting in a like 6 roped ring with like a huge Ferris wheel in the background, and it's like on the beach, and it was at the Hilton. And I remember after I got out of my fight, like I couldn't breathe. I had like, like it was so cold outside that it like hurt your chest. I remember getting out, I was like coughing a lot. I was like, man, we like fought in a fucking blizzard. It felt like. Um, Later that night, someone was walking to the cage and like stepped on some glass, like cut their foot, and then like The fight got canceled because he had a huge he had to get stitches in his foot. Um, yeah, just wild stories like that. But I fought in bars that held 500 people. There's like sardines in there. I fought outside, rooftop garage. I fought in uh, native lands, with like in a gymnasium. Ah, man, I fought on the beach. I fought where else? Man, I fought hockey arenas, the Kia Center. That was crazy. Um, the Hard Rock in Miami. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Well, now you got to add the Intuit Dome to that list, taking on Chris Avila. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent here?
Yeah, we were. I watched a bunch of his stuff. I was supposed to box him like 3 years ago. Um, so it's Shane Mosley Jr. who fights tonight for Zuffa Boxing. He was gonna headline a card at the Cosmopolitan, and they were just kind of building the card with like half UFC or half MMA, half boxing guys. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to box Chris Avila? He's Nate Diaz's homie." I was like, "Yeah." And I think I started like training for it for 2 weeks maybe, and then it just never happened. I think the whole thing got scrapped. But I watched like maybe four of his boxing matches, and because I'm like 2-0 with one draw in boxing also, and I think around that time he was like 3-0 boxing, and he had just beat like Anthony Pettis in boxing or something like that. He's like fighting some UFC champions and stuff. So yeah, it would have been really cool. And then it never happened, and then I just kind of went about my business and fought bare knuckle instead. So yeah, I know I've watched him for the last couple of years.
Chris, obviously a guy who likes to stand out there. He likes to bang his boxing background. You're a guy, you like to stand out there. You like to bang. You like to bring fireworks. Do you think this contest sets up a big knockout opportunity?
I think that's why they. I think that's why they put us together. I think they're looking for the right guy, so here I am. But yeah, he's got kind of. I always think of him as like a right-handed Nate Diaz. I don't think he's as tall as Nate, but I'm 6 foot. I think he's like 5'10". But yeah, just a scrappy Mexican dude and like loves to throw haymakers, and yeah, I think it'll be fun. Especially, I think it's a great fight to kick off the card.
Absolutely. What do you think of this whole dynamic here? I mean, it's the first time we have a promotion. I wouldn't say rival the UFC, but kind of compete alongside it that same night, delivering an amazing card. Do you think this competition is good for the sport? Do we need more of this?
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I think there should always be some competition because I feel like the way things are, things get kind of stale after time. People get complacent and stuff, and it's like that's kind of how things fall apart. And um, people are going to stop going to the UFC if they're getting bigger paydays elsewhere. And I mean, you've seen it before where like guys will like leave the UFC on like a 3-fight win streak, sign with PFL. I think they're getting easier competition, and then they go like winless. Like I don't know how many times you've seen people leave the UFC, go PFL, and there was like a statistic where I think people who came over were like 3-11 or something like that, and it was like 5 or 6 fighters that came over. They're not like Shane Burgos was like a fringe top 15 guy, and he came over and went 1-2. I mean, Anthony Pettis didn't do very good. He was on a win streak in the UFC. Just a lot of guys. There's world class opposition in every promotion. They don't get the respect they deserve, but that's okay. Like I stopped caring about what people think like a couple years ago.
So, in addition to fighting, you're a coach over at Syndicate MMA, one of the biggest gyms in the world. One of your
Yeah.
guys, Kenny Cross, also going to be on this card. It's pretty cool to fight alongside Kenny.
Yeah, he looks really sharp right now. Yeah, this card has everything, top to bottom. I mean, you got like undefeated prospects. Did you see Turbo got on the card too?
Yeah, Fumi Nakuda.
hmm
Huge.
I was at his last fight in A1 combat. I watched him win their belt. It was really cool. They kind of adopted this thing over there at A1 I think they have to pay you a certain amount of money to do 5 rounds. So I guess they weren't paying enough, and they only make you do 4 rounds. I think the CFFC does that too. Like if you're up 3-1, they'll just call it, and they're like, yeah, there's no reason to go to 5. Or if it's like 2-2, they'll go to 5. And but yeah, he went like I think it was he 4-0. This kid, really tough kid, and then it's cool that he finally gets a shot at the big show because I mean, he's been one of the best guys out there for like years, you know. I think he won the CFFC belt also. Um,
Absolutely.
Kenny Cross, also #1 unsigned guy. He should have been in a long time ago. I was in the McGregor versus Chandler hotel, and me and Kenny definitely thought that we were both in. And then because of whatever reason, me and Kenny got sent home. And we were both kind of waiting for that call because Dana was like, "Oh, we're gonna take care of the guys who got sent back as alternates," and I never got taken care of, but and neither did Kenny. But Kenny went to Bellator and unfortunately ran into like Glover Teixeira's protege or whatever before Alex Pereira. But then Kenny bounced back and had like some huge wins. Like the last guy he fought, the ONE FC guy, like he totally dominated that guy, and I thought that would get him in. But it's like make life changing money, be on Netflix, your whole life could change, or just keep waiting for whatever reason for them to sign you, or wait for someone to get sick, or it's whatever reason they haven't signed him. Doesn't make any sense because he's like made for television. Like he's got the looks, he's hilarious, great story, like great fighting style. Like he should have been here years ago. It just sucks that there's such a stranglehold on the market, and I'm glad that there's some competition out there, and he finally gets a platform to shine.
Absolutely. For you, how do you think you have grown and evolved as as a person throughout your journey in combat sports?
Uh, Evolved as a person. That's a hard question. That's a hard question.
What are maybe some things you've learned about yourself? How have we grown?
Oh, I learned that I'd really do. I've seen so many guys like take a couple losses and just like hang them up, and guys that should be there, and like my coach always says, there's more guys who shouldn't have made it make it, and then the guys who deserve it and they never make it because they kind of give up too early. And it's like I think you really gotta love fighting to like do it as long as I've done it. Like you just gotta love it. And I really love it. I've done every. I love I love just fighting. I mean, still haven't got to do the Lithway yet with the headbutts and the bare knuckle. I don't know. It's not really big in the U.S., but I think I have to travel to like Miramar to do it. But they're at war, I think. But yeah, like I like all the rule sets. Like I have so many like bucket list fight things I want to do, and my coach is like, "You're gonna give me a fucking heart attack." I was like, I know, but I still want to do it though. And like I want to do the headbutts. I want to do the. I haven't done BKFC yet, but I have little tiny girl hands. I might break my hands, so I don't know if I want to do that. Um, Game bred, I still want to do that. I still want to do Rumble in the Jungle, where they fight with the Karchuk. They have like the. You ever watch Kickboxer where they're like putting their hands in the stuff? It's like that, but you don't put your hands in the glass, but it's very close. I don't know. I think you just really gotta love it. And yeah, I love like the downtime and like the ups and the downs. It's really a roller coaster. I think a lot of people think they really want to do it, and then uh, they get in there and they get their orbital broken or their hands broken, and they're like, "Man, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth the $700." And I'm like, yes, it is. If you stick with it, you're gonna go travel and do cool things and meet cool people and meet famous people, meet hot chicks, all kinds of stuff. It's totally worth it. And then you're gonna develop as a person. And you're gonna be way more confident with yourself and everything. And it's totally worth it, 100%.
If you now are kind of adapting to being more of a coach here later in your career, do you find it more nerve wracking watching your guys compete than when you actually go out there and do it yourself?
100,000%. Because I mean, I still freak out every fight. I think people who don't freak out, I think they're lying. But yeah, like watching Jordan Levitt walk out in the Toyota Center. That was pretty nerve wracking. I'm like, oh, try not to show it because because he's going, and then I don't want him to see me because he's already probably freaking out a little bit. But that, and then just the guys that I've been helping out have been like fringe contender series guys, so they're fighting for like Fight Pass titles, and it's a big thing for them because I remember when I fought for a Fight Pass title for LFA, and it just means a lot, and it's like years went into this moment, and yeah, it's nerve wracking for me too. It's like I watched with John Wood, I'm cornering with him, and he's just like he's done it for so long, he just doesn't bat an eye, but yeah, I still freak out a little bit for sure.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest moments of your career was in the PFL 2021, that switch kick against Jacob Kilburn, 5-6 years ago. We still see it occasionally. It goes over our social media feeds. For you, is it pretty cool when you get to see that back to kind of relive that moment all these years later?
Yeah, it was cool. I like tag. I put it as my tag on one of my videos, whatever. It's really cool. I'll watch that one back every once in a while, just so I like watch myself walking to it, and I like see the big smiles, and I'm just like, I'm fucking ready. I was probably terrified, but I was just, what sucked about that one is they staged us kind of early. I was like standing on concrete, and it was cold, and my feet were freezing, and it was like during COVID, and half the arena was empty. And then I just hear like Chael Sonnen and Randy Couture or whoever is just talking, and they're just having this segment. They're like, "Hey, you're walking any second now." So I'm like standing over there. It's cold. My feet are hurt. I'm like losing my sweat, and I just hear Chael Sonnen just fucking talking about the betting odds and all this other shit. And I'm like, having like an adrenaline dump. And yeah, it was fucking brutal. But I remember I was so pissed about it that when we started walking, I was like, finally, I can get off this concrete and actually fight and warm my feet up. But yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I see it time and time again, and it's great.
What do you say mentally that same Jacob or that same Brandon Jenkins who fought Jacob Kilburn, is that the same guy we're getting this weekend?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Um, yeah, like well, 55. That was like my best cut to 155. It was weird. I've been fighting up a weight class and just getting used to it over the last couple of years has been kind of hard. Just because fighting like 6'3" dudes and 6 foot guys, like I'm so used to fighting giant dudes now that with around that time I was fighting shorter guys. And I remember we were walking back for lands, and like I like kind of sized him up, and I was like, he's like 5'8". And then as soon as we walked away from the scale or whatever, I looked at my coach. I was like, I'm probably gonna knee him in the head. He's like, yeah, you think so? I was like, yeah, most likely. And then I called it, and then I kneed him in the head, and I just kind of knew it. It was weird. And yeah, so this guy's more of a boxer, and he's got a titanium skull. I think he's never been finished before, and so yeah, I think he'll be hard to put away, kind of like Nate Diaz, and I expect a war of attrition for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Brandon, last question for me, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome Saturday when you find the big MVP Netflix card against Chris Avila?
Hopefully I can find a way to put him away, and then hop in the crowd and have some beers, and then get excited to watch Kenny Cross fight and Gina, because Kenny and Gina have looked in like they look amazing right now. They look in the best shape of their lives. I think Gina's like 5 pounds over, like she's super small, and everyone's always worried about her, like, oh, she's gonna make weight. I'm like, bro, she's like 5 pounds over. Like she's in phenomenal shape, and she hits like a truck. And Kenny looks amazing as always. Like he looks like he's a Greek god. But yeah, I'm excited just to get in there and get it over with, and then watch the homies.
In the past, we joke around. A great victory celebration is going to Dairy Queen and getting a blizzard with a big win. Like, do we have the ideal concoction in order to get?
I switched up on it. So there's a new place called Sorry Not Sorry, and it's a creamery, but it's the best ice cream of all time. Like I don't know when you're coming to Vegas next, but when you do, I have to. I always like. I don't like hype it up either. Like Davey Grant, who just fought. I was like, hey, Dave, you got to try this place. And I told him about it like 3 weeks in a row. And I was like, after your fight, we got to go. And we ended up going. And he's like, I didn't believe you. It's just ice cream. And then I had it, and it's like the best thing in the world. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, it's like whatever the fat content is, like wherever the threshold is, like makes it legal. I think it's like at the fucking thing, like it's like right there, and it's almost illegal, right? But it's the best thing I've ever had. But I get a s'mores waffle cone, but it's from Sorry Not Sorry. It's amazing. But if you ever come to Vegas, I'll fucking take you, dude. I think about it every day, to be honest. Like I want to get it every day.
There you go. Well, Brandon, man, thank you so much. You're chopping it up with me again. So happy you got this opportunity. You truly deserve it, man. I'm really excited to watch you go out and do your thing there on Saturday, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. That's it for us, Dave. Carl Peruzza. He is Mr. Brandon Jenkins. You can watch him Saturday. MVP, Netflix card. Take that, Chris Avila. Don't Bleak Fight fans. It's going to be fun. Take care.